Now, our third story, Jakob, is just one that I found to be like deeply lovely. I loved it. One of your writers covered a story about a Northport couple who found a really sweet way to honor their late grandson. And I just want you to take it away and tell us all about it.
I mean, we need uplifting good news.
Oh, we really do.
We've got to, Ross Boyson, one of my stalwart writers who writes for other publications, The Ticker as well, once in a while, wrote a piece that we published. Jim and Jan Brown, an elderly couple, I believe, in their 80s, who live on some acreage near Northport. March is maple. It's the season for tapping maple trees. Boiling it down takes quite a process, but making your homemade maple syrup is special around here. So Jim and Jan have been making Pa Brown's maple syrup since 2009. In 2010, they lost their grandson, Rance, to cancer. And that was kind of one of the impetus for making Pa Brown's maple syrup. Proceeds of which from sales they send to St. Jude's Children's Hospital to help the next child battling cancer.
Yeah, it's just, and they continue to do this, right? It's fantastic. So it's called Pa Brown's maple syrup. Have you ever tapped maple syrup? Have you ever done that?
When I was little, and I grew up out near Empire, my parents lived on a dirt road. The school bus, Glen Lake School at that time, would drop my sister and off 3/4 of a mile down a dirt road from home. We would walk home down the dirt road in March or April, and we would dip our fingers. So we're tired at the end of the day, 4 o'clock, whatever. We dip our fingers in the sap bucket.
Yep.
Just to taste that bit of sweetness.
I mean, I'll give a plug to the NMC Extended Education Program, which is just, if you ever just want to take a class of something that interests you in the community, you don't have to go get a degree. You can just take a one-off class for an afternoon. I, a couple years ago, went through their naturalist program and got my certificate doing that, which is a lot of different outdoor classes. And one of them was maple syrup tapping at the Grass River Natural Area out by Bel Air. And it's free. I recommend, if you just want to learn how to do it, once you know how to do it, there's so many maples, people often have them on their property. Yeah. And it's a really fun process to do.
My grandparents used to do it every year. And so they would tap and then they would be boiling on the stove. And it was just always a process. And I never learned how to do it. So really exciting. Maybe I'll take that class. Yeah.
But boil down the sap outside.
Oh, yeah. It's
I have
supposed
some
to be.
Minnesota friends when I lived in Minneapolis, and they once boiled the sap on their kitchen stove.
Yeah.
What do you think the ceiling looked like?
Not great.
Sticky mess.
Not great. Well, this is such a beautiful story that Ross wrote, and just a lovely story about this couple and how they wanted to honor their grandson, how they wanted to raise money for St. Jude's, which is an amazing, amazing hospital that's doing lots of cancer research on cancers that are so rare that you're not going to have lots of, other maybe pharmaceutical companies that are going to cover this. It's just fantastic. I was reading here that they did buckets on 180 trees. And then now there are over 300 trees. That's a lot of trees.
The fact in the article that they said they've donated nearly 70,000, I thought, for sure it might be a smaller number, but it's just like a feel-good story about a couple doing. That's a real impact. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, 70,000.
It's hard work. And he's over 87 years old, which is incredible. That's so inspiring.
Better. Oh my gosh. I love this story, and you have to read all about it, glenarborsun.com. It's so great. You can pick it up in Leelanau County, or you can just go online, glenarborsun.com.